Welcome to the Savvy Podcasting for Entrepreneurs podcast, a place for podcasters to learn what's actually working in the world of podcasting and how to use their podcast to generate consistent leads in their business. I'm your host, Jenny, and I'm so excited you're here.
All right, so we're here. I apologize if you can hear my AC going in the background. Our AC recently went out and we have like these portable ones and they're kind of loud. So bear with me. I tried recording downstairs earlier where we do not have a portable AC set up and it was too miserable. So here we are on my laptop with just my iPhone headphones because my microphone does not plug into my laptop because there's no port for it. So please bear with me on the audio quality for this episode and next week's episode because I'm recording these now and unfortunately don't have the best setup. So yeah, thank you for bearing with me. Welcome back to the podcast. In this episode, we're chatting all about how to stay consistent with your podcast without losing your mind. So as I'm sure you already know, consistency is super important when it comes to podcasting. If you start to drop the ball on releasing new episodes, your audience is going to take notice and eventually their support will begin to dwindle because they don't consistently see your new episodes in their podcast player each week. So now that you know the importance of being consistent, let's talk about how to actually make this consistency thing happen. So first you want to map out your episode topics in advance. This is where I recommend starting. And if you can't come up with at least 15 episode ideas from the get-go, then you might need to rethink your podcast idea because you need to have a steady stream of ideas coming in for you to actually make that content, right? Next up, I want you to sit down and once you have all these topic ideas mapped out and kind of figured out when you're going to put each episode out, you want to write outlines for your episodes because once you have it outlined, it's much easier to just pick up and hit record than it is to just be like, okay, I have this topic idea, but like, what am I going to say? Right. So it eliminates the overwhelm of what to talk about because you already have your key points laid out in front of you. Highly, highly recommend writing outlines, especially when you're first starting, because when you're first starting, you are less confident in front of the mic and you might ramble and things like that. So having an outline really helps you stay on track, make sure you're getting your point across and not rambling or not going way too fast. Another thing you want to do is automate and or systematize what you can. So there's lots of parts of your podcast that can be automated and or systematized. So think about things like transcripts with a little tidying up, of course, because no AI tool is perfect. You can create templates, which makes a nice system. For guest outreach and management, all you have to do is like fill in the name and, just customize a few little things, but you'll have like the general body of the guest emails kind of ready to go. And then you can create systems around uploading the audio to your podcast host and website and things like that. So it just really makes the process quicker. Although it's not fully automated, it's a lot quicker because you have a process around it. Another thing you might want to do is utilize batch recording. So if you've been around for a while, you've heard me talk about batch recording and how powerful it is. So if you're new to batching, basically batch recording is basically recording a bunch of episodes and having them in the can so that it's much easier for you to stay on top of your release schedule. This really helps so you don't have to switch between tasks and you can put all your focus on recording these episodes, getting them done and not being like, hold on, let me answer these emails and then let me record and then let me do all this stuff. You have like a set block of time to record some episodes. You can also utilize batching for other podcast tasks. So you can batch your editing, you can batch write your show notes, you can batch creating graphics and audiograms. You can batch a lot of podcasting. You can batch like reaching out to guests. So there's a lot of things that you can batch other than your recording, which is really amazing because then you're able to get super far ahead and not feel as overwhelmed by the podcast process. So yeah, that is it for today's episode. If you want to check out the show notes, go to savvypodcastingforentrepreneurs.com and I will see you in the next episode.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast player like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Stitcher and leave a review. You can find us at savvypodcastingforentrepreneurs.com and on Facebook at Savvy Podcasting for Entrepreneurs and Instagram at Savvy Podcasting. Make sure to join our free Facebook community for podcasters by going to savvypodcastingforentrepreneurs.com/community and join in on the exclusive community just for Savvy Podcasting for Entrepreneurs listeners. I'll see you there.